Oh. 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 Sairam, everyone.
Saira.
We will just remember what we discussed last week, and then we can move on. Swami is talking about the Mahabharata war, and he's telling us that what we see externally, or what happened externally, is for us to realize that that's the same war which is going on in our own hearts. From what Swami is saying, what we can understand is that Krishna realized that there's a lesson which is needed for the entire mankind. So he came down and he created a situation of Pandavas and the Kauravas, and he enacted a drama. And then this drama is captured in the Mahabharata text of Mahabharata. And that has come down to us for us to study even today after many thousands of years. And from this, what we can understand is this will allow us to understand what goes on within each one of us. And Swami has explained to us about the city of Hastinapura, the Pandavas, the Kauravas, what they stand for, and so on. So that's where we are, and I think we read one slide and we did not discuss much. I think that's where we thought we would begin today. So I will ask Sister Kalyani to read, please. Saira.
Bhakta. Well, who is Lord Krishna in the subtle war? He who was then neutral in that struggle for power. Swami, don't you know? He is the witness, known as Atma. He is Sarathi of the chariot of the Jiva. Bhakta. Another question. All these people had Hastinapura as their capital then. In man, which is the Hastinapura? Swami, the basis for all these subtle manifestations, these men, chariots, Pandavas, and Kauravas, is, as you know, this Hastinapura, this city of bones, this body. This skeleton is Hastinapura. Both have 9 gates. There, both the Kauravas and the Pandavas were born. They played and were trained there. They grew up together there. So also, in the same Hastinapura, all the qualities, good and bad, are born and do grow. They develop and subside. They watch and hate each other, all in the same body. Are not the warring rulers in this body also Ajnani and Sujnani, the unwise personality and the wise personality?
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Kalyani. I think we discussed this last week. So I will just open it up for any comments, any questions from anyone who would like to, I think you may have had more time to think about it over the week. So I will just open it up for discussion by any of the participants if you would like to share anything related to this slide. Okay, then we can read the next slide. Sorry, yes, Kalyan.
Just a small thing, but I just wonder what, the line where Swami saying they develop and subside, they watch and hate each other. Is it right to say that the Pandavas hated the Kauravas? Or even in ourselves, like our good qualities, like hate the bad qualities?
Okay, thank you very much. A good question, sister. So I will, can we say the good qualities hate the bad qualities? I think that's the question from Sister Kalyani. So I will ask what the participants think. It's what we think could be.
Sairam, it is good impulses fighting with the bad impulses. So bad impulses, we know kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, machariya. And the good impulses are satya, dharma, shanti, prema, ahimsa. So impulses in our mind, good impulses in our mind is always fighting with bad impulses in the mind. So we have to take like that, I think. Sairam.
So, Sairam brother, if we take us, we have 100 bad qualities. Only we have 5 good qualities, maybe. So, still with the 5 good qualities, we can kill the other 100 bad qualities. Always the good qualities will work on the dharma. We can achieve the task and we can kill all the bad qualities. This is what Mahabharata talking about, I think. Thank you.
Excuse me, brother.
Yes.
I think for some time we lost your voice, I thought. We didn't hear. So can you repeat?
Okay. So we have, say for an example, we have 100 bad qualities and 5 good qualities only. So the 5 good qualities can able to kill the 100 bad qualities. So always, if you work on the dharma with the 5 the good qualities, can kill other whatever you have. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother.
Sairam, I think no, in the Mahabharata also it's somewhat similar. So the Kauravas maybe except Viharna, the one. So the other generally, especially Duryodhana, Dushana, or they hated Pandavas, but Pandavas did not hate Kauravas. They fought for the justice or due rights, but they didn't hate in the same way Kauravas hated Pandavas. So same thing, I think, the Sattvic people or wise people don't hate unwise, but Ajnanis hate wise people. That's in the worldly. We see that also. So I just thought of pointing out.
Sairam, my understanding, as long as the bad qualities can be tolerated by the good qualities, it wouldn't fight with the bad qualities. It would tolerate up until to the very last fine point. Whenever the good qualities think that these bad qualities are going to overcome me and they are going to get rid of us and they are going to destroy all the things, not only us, the whole universe, or then the good qualities, it will take the action, it doesn't matter, whether I am a good quality, I shouldn't do this. No, they have gone beyond that, the level, and they will do whatever it good for the whole universe. That sort of understanding, I got it. Even in the Mahabharata story, all the Pandavas, they tolerated, up until the very last, the minute. Then only they have taken the action to kill one by one all the, the bad qualities. So that sort of understanding, there is a tolerance level even for the good quality. But I really understand the Sister Kalyani's question, whether if we are good people or good quality, whether can they really attack the bad quality, or they can try to get rid of the bad qualities or bad people. my question, that is Sister Kalyani's question, but my understanding, there's a limit. If the bad qualities overcome you, then the good quality really take action to put them down. That sort of understanding. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment? So, I looked at the Telugu version. Swami has used the word called Vairamu. Vairamu means, in Tamil they would say Vairi or whatever. Basically, enmity is the good translation, I would say, rather than hatred. Okay, I think Kalyan's question is, do they hate? I think enmity is the better word translation for this. So there's enmity between good and bad. Enmity means actually it's differences of opinion. Even among family, even among friends, there can be differences of opinion. So that's opposed to each other. So it is, I would say, it is more something of opposition or enmity between both good and bad. And I think then the question comes: should the good qualities, or even good people, let's take good people, should they become hateful about bad people, or should they just let them get away with anything? And I think that's your question. If we think we are good people, how do we deal with bad people? So even if you say we love them or something like that, then what does it mean? What is supposed to be our action? It is something which everyone has to ask, because that's the only way we can purify our own good qualities within us. So generally, there's a tendency to think if you're a good person, you let even bad things going on, just say they are also God, let them do what they are doing. They are also instruments of God. We will keep quiet. That is something which all of us can do. For example, if there's a doctor, if there are bacteria or anything attacking the body and killing a person, can the doctor say, oh, the bacteria are also divine, we should let them also flourish? Okay. See, that kind of understanding is sometimes not accurate, not a good way to do it. A doctor does not treat an ailment with anger and hatred for the bacteria. The doctor would treat it because that will create more balanced living overall. So even at home, if the dirt is there, we can't say dirt is also Brahman, we will not do anything. We can just worship the dirt also. It is not that. So I think the most important thing is this, which is what Krishna was teaching Arjuna. He was telling Arjuna, be qualityless, in the sense, don't have bad thoughts in you. Offer everything to me and just kill them, because they had to be killed, because that is the way you uphold dharma, not because you hate them. Krishna very, very clearly, he said, you wage the war, but not without any hatred. Offering everything to the Lord, thinking that it is the necessary thing for dharma to prevail. So I think that distinction is very important, but what happens is generally everything gets mixed up. I think, our hatred also gets mixed up with, wanting to do the right thing. So we have to separate them out and say, okay, we should not have any negative thought, bad thought, and then we should do what is right. It's like a judge, it's a judge who, say, what is the sentence, he will proclaim. He is not proclaim. He's not supposed to proclaim that judgment based on hatred, but he should say this by giving this person a certain punishment. Even that person has a chance of reforming, and others who see that also may not commit the same crime. So I think so good qualities also can do the right thing without taking on the bad qualities. I think that was your point. I think it was a very, very good point, Kalyani, because many times people think in the name of love, we can let anything go, and we say, oh, we are seeing divine. No, it is not so. That's why Krishna was very clear. He says, don't get attached to anything, don't hate anything. and I think the translation can make us think something else. But enmity is I think the right opposition or enmity is a better translation of the word in Telugu. Sairam.
Sairam, brother, thank you very much. Very good explanation. Recently I heard that Samuel Sandweiss's Samarpan, last Samarpan.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, so he was saying that
He mentioned the same thing, yes.
Love all, serve all is widely misunderstood because you cannot love all the bad things of people. He was saying that it is that notion is widely misunderstood. He said that it tallies with what you are saying.
Yes, thank you very much. I was very happy to listen to that because there are people who stand up and talk, and I think he even mentioned sometimes someone's explanation is not even welcome in the Sathya Sai organization.
Yeah, he said.
I don't want to talk about it. These were his exact words.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Sairam, in Mahabharata, that last moment that Pandava sent Krishna as a messenger or mediator to before the war. No, then Krishna went there and spoke to them and tried to tolerate everything. But at the last, they said we cannot give nothing to them. Though. So then he decided that we had to go on for war. So it's the same manner that we had to put our thoughts to our Atma, then our intellect, and analyze it properly that we are doing the right thing or wrong thing. Then we can take the decision. Yeah. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Okay, if there are no questions in the comments, we will go to the next slide. I think Swami is still continuing to discuss it.
Bhakta. Yes, Swami. There is an intimate connection between the Mahabharata war and the qualities and conduct of man. Really, the relationship is there, without doubt. What a fine comparison. As you said, this type of warfare is taking place in everyone, even now. Well, Swami, when will this war end? Swami, when will this war end, you ask? When both bad qualities and good qualities fade out and man becomes quality-less, then alone can man have Shanti. Bhakta. At that time, this battlefield, this Astinapura, the city of bones, will not exist, is it? Swami. When there is a battle, there must be a battlefield. When you have no battle, why bother about a field?
Thank you very much, sister. So maybe I'll just, I think we just sort of briefly talked about it. So I will open it up for discussion. Anyone who wants to share anything based on this slide?
Sairam, brother, so I would like to dwell on this one. Okay. The last lines, last three dialogues, is when I reading, I thinking of this Jnani. Jnani, he is qualityless because he transcended even Sattva Guna. So the Bhakta is asking indirectly, Jnani, can a Jivan Mukta be living? Is something like, should the Jnani leave the body and merge with the Lord, or can the Jnani be living as Jivan Mukta for a period of time according to Prarabdha, whatever it is? So in that Janaha Maharaja was a Brahmajnani or Rajarajnani or Brahmajnani, but he was ruling the country. Likewise, even Rama, Avatar, he was also ruling the country under Rama Rajya. So likewise, when I thought of your last time comments, and so these Pandavas, I think this I saw in my internet, I don't know the correct or wrong, 36 years they lived, but we know that they lived after the war, and he was ruling the country, Dharmaraja. So Dharmaraja was ruling the country like Janama Maharaja. So quality less. That's what you were saying the last time. I totally agree that. So they were ruling the country quality less. Like Janama Maharaja, exception cases, like a Jivan Mukta living in the body. So this just my thoughts, and I think you will, and you will get it my point. I think. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
yes, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Anyone else who would like to share some thoughts, please?
So, Sairam brother, if the person got the self-realization, so he's not going to think about this world or
Yes,
this body.
yes,
So that time he is going to destroy all the three gunas. So he doesn't care about, he doesn't see, even though he live in the world, he doesn't see the world. So everything is going to be Atmic world. So this is my understanding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to?
Sairam, I don't know is it appropriate to ask this question, but I would ask, if a child is born, is it coming with the quality or no? Is it coming with a good quality or bad quality aspect in the child? Or it is because of this environment that the world that we are living in makes the child to become bad or good? Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Good question. So I will open it up for discussion. So the brother is asking, when a child is born, what is it coming with? What is the purpose? Very good.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, brother. So I'm all the time. So if the person born here, though even the body, if he birth comes because of the karma, so it comes with the vasanas. So in order to achieve the karma and everything, destroy the karma and everything, you have to walk on the path, whatever Swami is saying. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you.
Sairam, I'm just adding to Dasan's complimenting that. So the child when he grows doesn't have enough environment to react with his bad samskaras or good samskaras, vasanas. So when the appropriate situation, when the child faces the appropriate situation, that some clue coming from external world to his internal world, the chitta vasanas. So when the child come across that matching impulse outside, then the child becomes like us, grown up people. So for some time, I think it's a God's nature maybe that 5 years, 6 years, they are innocent, totally innocent. So when they face to society, when they develop their intellect, actually, intellect is not growing till Kalyani would know much better. So for the child for certain years, there's growth is not acute. So until such time, the child is like God. Then after that, when it interacts with when the intelligence grows and when he interacts with the society, then his impulses reacting with the outside impulses, and he likes a man like us. That's what I could say. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to comment?
I think it's pretty, no, usually it is both plays a part, inborn vasanas qualities and external factors like parents, teachers, and all the surroundings. definitely play a part. So it's a combination of both things. Simon.
Sairam, it's a follow-up question. Is that the case? Is it appropriate for the maybe up to Brother Sivadas indicated up to certain age, maybe intellectual faculty wouldn't be in the grown, or in the everything, it would be an innocent level. So if that is the case, is it appropriate to brand it as good qualities or bad qualities, in our children up until a certain age? Even the children comes for the, the kindergarten level, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So maybe that's the underlying reason, maybe Brother Arul's question, whether, is it appropriate to brand the children, oh, this is the good quality child, this is the bad quality child. It's beyond their, even though they could come with the vasanas, of course, the sanjita karma, or because of that karma, they could come with a family with the good qualities or bad qualities. But even though we know all of these, is it appropriate, or is it a good thing to brand the children with good qualities or bad qualities? That's the maybe the take home message, or our thinking, it should be like, we shouldn't brand the children under certain age, whether they are good qualities or bad qualities, even though some children, they may behave with the in certain way that may not be acceptable by as gurus or as elders. In my understanding, we shouldn't brand them as good quality children or bad quality children, because we may not agree or we may not accept their behaviors or the attitudes. That sort of thinking I am having. Maybe my thinking, it could be right or wrong, but that sort of understanding. After Brother Arul's question, I really thought about that here. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister.
Saira,
Anyone else who would like to say anything, comment?
Saira, Swami says that according to that Swami's teaching, that I am saying something, I don't know, I'm right or wrong. And when the child born, that is coming with that with karmas. No? According to karma, the child come to that earth with that results of the karma. No? That according to that karma, that it gets at parents and where he is born and what he's going to do, and everything is under the karmas. No? That's what I understand that. And after that, the child, when the child born, that's why I'm saying it's like equal to God, because it's coming from the God. And after the circumstances changing, that child, my understanding. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question, but based on the conversation, my take on is there's no good and bad qualities in anybody, I would say. It's just, even in, not even child or adult, that's how I see it. Not even adults, and that's what Swami said, don't judge, don't label people. There's a lot to do with kids' nature and nurture, right? The environment and the qualities kids born. And that's I always believe that's what I have learned from Bhagawan is not the child's fault, it's its parents. Whenever you see a child, it's how you grow. So anytime, even if my kids don't behave, I always take upon myself and I just appeal to Bhagawan that what did I do? I mean, they're not doing certain things. Where did I go wrong? Can you guide me? What should I do? So I strongly believe that nature and nurture has a lot to do. And whatever qualities kids born because of their past karmas and all of that, but with the right upbringing, nurture, and seeing God in kids all the time, and seeing how we can make them as a good child, so that one day we can say to Bhagawan, see, this is your child. I hope I took care of the child very well. That's how I see it. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram. Someone wanted to say something?
Sai Ram, I just want to point out that I think, as Brother Shodas mentioned earlier, up to a certain age, the previous vasanas or qualities are dormant. After that, maybe before up to that age, maybe it's difficult to observe those things, but definitely otherwise the previous in birth or vasanas or karma doesn't have any meaning at all. Beside, my question is, if it's nice to say that all the childs are born clean, like a clean slate, but can anyone guarantee that two children from the very beginning, for hypothetically, brought up exactly the same way, they live the rest of their life exactly the same way? Can anyone guarantee that? So I just want to like others' views. Silent.
Thank you very much, brother. Any other question, comments? This maybe I will just I will share my side of this thoughts. See, Swami has, I think, already answered this question. Actually, if we read the earlier slides, Swami says they are born in the same place. They all of them sing, dance, play. This is what Swami says in Telugu. And they grow, and when they grow, they start. There's enmity. This is what Swami says. So all qualities, everything seems to be fine until adulthood. So the thing is, whether the good qualities or bad qualities which manifest, as Brother Vimalison said, they are all dormant. It's just like if we go, now it's just winter, if you go to a backyard, there's nothing. Even grass, maybe, there may be some grass left, but everything looks very clean and tidy. And some rain falls and then the weeds start growing. So this is what happens to all of us. And the reason we take birth, as Brother Rajagopal said, is to work out our quality and become qualityless. That is the whole purpose of being born itself. And I think generally there's a tendency to say, okay, there is the role which environment plays in people, and children were all very good before. As Brother Vimalison said, you can have a situation where in the same place, with the same upbringing, two sets of children come up differently. The Pandavas and Kauravas is a classic example.
That's right.
Pandava's father and Kaurava's father are both children of Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa's children are Pandu and Dhritarashtra. So you can say one father, same children. They went to the same school. They studied under the same gurus. What changed? So the thing is, everyone individually comes to their own vasanas, and so I think just the way we look at our children, we were also children one day. Then we can say we were all good, but our parents and environment spoiled us. No. The thing is, the reason, as Brother Rajagopal said, we were born in that environment is because of our own karma. Because of our own vasanas that we are born in that environment. So ultimately, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. But I think the question is maybe, how do we deal with the children? The thing is, if we deal with ourselves properly, the children will, learn something good from us. Because I think there are many parents here, they all know The children, different child in their family behaves different. Even though they have tried the same thing, told them the same thing, even though they live their own lives in a certain way. The thing is, just the way our children are Swami's children, we are also Swami's children. So what Swami expects us is, I think, is given a job, do it well. We cannot control the world and the environment also. And what can we say? When they send them to schools, they are exposed to different things. But we can, there's only limited extent that we can control that also. So the reality is all children are born with qualities which have not been resolved. And the whole purpose of being born is to resolve those qualities. And if we can help them become qualityless, just like that's the way we, by making our own effort to become qualityless, is I think what we can do. So I don't know whether I confuse the issue further or, but I just thought aloud, Saira.
Thank you to one and all. Beautiful explanations. Thank you.
Sairam, brother. I have just one question in addition to that. The good qualities fade out. How do you think in like a real life you will realize that good qualities fade out? I know bad qualities to rid of, but where do you draw or where do you think like that? I'm just because Swami said then only you will have the Santi, that's mean peace, right? So I'm trying to understand that point. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister. It's a very good question. I will open it up for discussion, please, Saira.
Saira, I mean, right or wrong, I'm not sure. That we have to check ourselves. We have to check ourselves. Are we doing the same thing before and now? The birds are different from us. We have to check ourselves only. The others can say that you are a good man or a bad man. Your heart should be say that you are a good man, bad man. That's my understanding. Thank you, sir.
Sairam, I understand Sister Aruna's question. This is what I was referring earlier here, that for people like Brahmañanis, like Janahar and Dharmaraja, this is okay. The good qualities can fade out. Still, they because they are spiritually maturity is so high, so they balance it. They become jnanis and rule the country. And so also, if we can become jnani now itself, or Jivan Mukta, then good qualities can be faded out, and we can become quality less and work for the society too. Because that is the example of Jana Maharaja and Dharma Maharaja and people like them. So it could be very, very rare cases, but even in the Ramayana, I think there is a better. The next chapter is, I think, giving some good idea about this. I think I read it this morning, but it's better. They are the Sattva Guna has to be maintained for a certain period of time. So these we have to have these good qualities until each and every small piece of bad qualities are removed. So we just cannot fade it out until the negative qualities are killed. Then it depends on us. Then after that, do I want to become quality-less and quality-less and become jnani, or do I want to keep it and look and serve the world? Then I want to give up and become merge with Lord, something like that. So there are exceptions like Jana Maharaja and Dharma Maharaja. They become quality-less and work for the society. I think brother better elaborate on it, and thank you.
So it's actually, it was a very good question from Sister Aruna and a very good answer from Brother Sivadas. The thing is, I am quite touched because you can see through the words in English and see what the message Swami is giving. So I'm just going to read the Telugu version and translate, and we'll discuss, okay, if you don't mind. యుద్ధము నిల్చుటయ ఎప్పుడు దుర్గుణ సద్గుణములు ఒక్కటయి గుణరహితులు కాగలరో అప్పుడే శాంతి ఏర్పడును. What Swami is saying is, when will this war end, you ask? When bad qualities, durguna and sadgunamulu, both okkatai, become one. Guna rahitulu kagalaro. When they all merge and become qualityless, without qualities, that time there is shanti. So when the bad and the good merge, become one, and then there is no qualities, no good and bad, no duality, then there's peace. Basically, Swami is saying, if there's diversity, if unity happens, unity means joining, coming together, only then there's peace. So as you can see, the fade out, the translation itself is,
Yes.
it fades out the meaning. That's all I can say. So they join and become one.
Join and become one. Thank you so much, Saira.
Yes.
Brother, I don't know. Sorry, go ahead, brother.
Sorry, sister. How does it merging means? What is that idea? The good quality and the bad qualities merging means, how does it coming up? Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.
Very, very good question. Very good question. So I will open it up for discussion.
So,
I think it's when we start practicing forbearance, forgiveness, equanimity, and all the good things will become equal quality. When we start practicing all these good qualities. Saira.
So, Sairam brother, if we take God, he doesn't look at, he doesn't have that quality, he doesn't have any quality. He doesn't look at good or bad. So same way we are God too. So we should not differentiate, discriminate anything, good and bad. So this is my understanding in Atmic principle. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to? I think it's a very good question. How can the good and bad merge?
Brother Sairam, so you know that in the war, in the cinema pictures, you would have seen that two side arrows come and meet, and they head on, and they just meet, and they stand still there, and they broke down to pieces and fall down. So it could be like that. So one good quality comes in contact with the bad quality, and they are fighting each other, then both broken, goes away. So the merging means here those both get nullified and become qualityless. So actually, these both good and bad are coming from the Prakriti part only. It cannot come from the Atma. So anything after Atma, below the Atma, so Prakriti. So these Prakritis, the Prakriti is good Prakriti and bad Prakriti fight, and then they become nullified. And Atma is now left alone as it was before. Thank you, sir. And there's something I thought. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to comment?
Sairam, I would like to, what Brother Sudha said, I'd like to add just that this we had to, I think Swami is saying these statements at that level that we should view or perceive these at purely spiritual dimension, because even if we have a slight idea, but we try to understand at the worldly level, it'll be very difficult. So Swami say these things that you have to become qualityless, then only you achieve Shanti. So that's we have to try to understand at purely spiritual dimension, because that's then only it's if we attain that stage, then only we attain real Shanti. I think that's what Swami is trying to say. At the worldly level, however we are good or whatever, we won't have that Shanti. We cannot experience that Shanti. I think that's what Swami's point. Maybe that's my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong. I just want to express my understanding, Saira.
Thank you.
Sai Ram, I have seen in the chat box, there is a question, how we would know that we have come to the qualityless stage. And I just thought about myself, say for an example, the good qualities and the bad qualities. For the good qualities, normally people would praise you, and the bad qualities, normally, the people would yell at you, or they will talk about badly behind you and those things. But if we have come to the qualityless stage, or it's the merging stage, is the balanced stage, maybe the people, they have come to that stage, qualityless stage, or the merging stage. Maybe those people may be even branded by the other people. Oh, this person is something wrong. Yeah. Even if I say something, this person doesn't say anything. Even if, when I yell at them, this person just, maybe something wrong, mental illness, the mental ill, or, some sort of, the comment may be thrown to that person, maybe even we have known that some of the jnanis in the past in Jaffna, they say it's the Sellappa Swamigal and the other Swamigal have been branded like that. They wouldn't worry about others' praise or others, they bad words. They wouldn't worry at all. But to come to that stage, qualityless stage, it's a long way. That's my understanding. Maybe that's a really good question. I thought in the someone thrown that question. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else would like to comment?
Brother Arun, I will take some question offline because I'm still stuck on a child and the mother. That I don't know. I have so many questions around it because I was under the impression a lot that, a mother or father has a lot to do with the child upbringing, and how, because that's what I'm telling to my girls, that whatever you behave, it depicts who I am. Nothing to do with you. It's who I am. Yes, I have to work with one child more than the other one. I mean, I have so many questions. Maybe I will take offline because I was totally in a different impression that how during carrying them in my womb and bringing up and looking after, same with I don't know, with Pandavas and Kauravas, the quality of the father, maybe the way he had those qualities, is passed on to Kauravas, or he never stopped, or he could never see that my kids are doing. That's the power of discrimination. He could not see my kids are wrong. Where Pandavas has that power of discrimination to see God is with us, that's more important. So I am sorry, I'm stuck. I'm still keep thinking of it. I'm so sorry. I don't want to take a lot of time on this platform. Maybe I will call you if you allow me.
Okay, sister.
Thank you so much.
So, I think there are two questions. Maybe I will address, because I think I created the confusion. I will just solve Sister Shivani, because I don't think she'll be able to focus. I won't be able to say much, but I will say what I can. So what I was saying, sister, is let's take the story of Prahlada. Prahlada was born to a person like Hiranyakashipu, who was an atheist, was all bad qualities embodied. So you can say his environment was so bad. How did he not become Hiranyakashipu? Because that was his inborn qualities. Okay, the same Prahlada had a son called Virochana. Virochana was an atheist. He was given to lots of bad qualities. Then you can say Prahlada, he was the embodiment, the pinnacle of devotion. How can such a child be born to him? Okay, so what I'm saying is every child is born to work out their karma and their vasanas. As parents, we have a duty. Our duty is to be perfect, the perfect person we can be. Because we see, when we have not done our own job of reforming ourselves, we cannot reform anyone in this world. So most of the time, before we reform ourselves, we are trying to reform the world. That becomes the problem. So I think primarily for each parent, the primary duty is to become qualityless themselves. If they become qualityless, they can teach others how to be qualityless. So the thing is, I'm not saying that you should shirk your duty, but you need to understand the limitation with which you are working. Because sometimes what happens, parents do a lot of things and the children are not turning out to be the way they want. And then they beat their head, they beat their children, and they become so sad. So the thing is, what I'm saying is we need to be confident what we are doing. Primarily, we should improve ourselves. We should know that the children are also struggling just like us. Help them out to the extent possible within our ability. The rest you leave to the Lord. Because just the way you are saying they are his children, he has not given you all the responsibilities. He has given you some responsibility. Feed them, clothe them, set a good example by you yourself progressing. This is what I think the parents can do. After that, whatever is happening, just offer it to Swami, leave it in his hands. He can do much better things. He has given me some work to do. I think that's my point. If there's further discussion, we will discuss it offline. Okay, number 2. I think I will.
Let me stop you, Brother Arno, for a moment, if you don't mind. Those are mantras to me this morning. This is a great mantra to me. Thank you, Saira.
So the thing is, because we should not think too great of our own self. First, see, if we want to cook a dish, first we need to master how to cook the dish before we can teach somebody else how to cook the dish.
So brother, if I know back of my mind, I'm just for the argument's sake, it's just becoming a devil advocate, I put it that way. If I know back of my mind, child born with certain, which I know, I always under the impression that whatever level of spirituality you grew in your last birth, you definitely have those qualities. I never thought about the bad. I always thought the level of spirituality you grew, and then this birth you have to go. Every birth you are growing, because eventually, consciously, unconsciously, we have to realize who we are, our own divinity. Having said that, I was under the impression that yes, the child born with certain spirituality, so their level will be the way they understand. Both kids, both girls, the way they learn Swami's teachings are very different, but I have to work with one more than the other one. My question is, if I have that in my back of my mind all the time, I'm just thinking, will I do justice in taking care of them fully? Because I know, okay, if the child is doing, that's her past karmas, I can't do anything. Because right now, or it's my own intent, it's my own thinking that, you know what, I am just kind of going to say, okay, child is behaving because of her past karmas, I can't do anything, I did my job. But whereas if I'm not thinking that, I take on responsibility fully. But I do agree what you're saying is that your 100% you give, and then you just offer to him. Now it's your child, because Swami has said at a certain age, you should not be doing anything. I think it's 19 or 21. After that, you should not be telling anything because it's their karma. Otherwise, you will start sharing their karmas. If you have not done a good job until the age of 21, you cannot do anything. You just walk with them. If they come to you, they ask you, you do it, but you don't do anything after that. That's my understanding. So I do agree, but it was blocking me if I work with the notion that the child has the past, vasanas and all of those. I can do just this much, and they have to do. That was stopping me to take care of them to my fullest. But I do agree what you are saying, Sai Ram.
Okay, sister. I think each of us have to make our own choices as to what we do, what we don't do. I just said, we can't say this is the right thing to do. But my point was, let us focus on our own growth. That is the best thing which we can do to a child. Because what we say does not have the same impact as what we do and how we live our life. And I think God has created somebody next to us only so that we can provide the best example there can be. And I think if that we do, that is everything, is my understanding. But the rest, Swami will guide each of us what we should do, what we should not do. We should not be sad and troubled. As long as if we are doing that, then we are taking on the doership. Then that's a different discussion. I wouldn't go there. I will come to this question of how do we become qualityless? How can the good lose their goodness and become one with the bad? I think that is the question which is bothering everyone. Swami has addressed this. For example, if we want to merge with God, we should become divine, only then we can merge with God. Okay. So if we go back to earlier Sandeha Nivarini section, Swami says, first, there was only one quality. God is supposed to be Shuddha Sattva. Okay. From that Sattva, the three qualities became, and then the five came. How the creation of this multiplication happened, Swami has already said. So how can everything become one? Because ultimately, God is the ocean with which everything has to merge. Even the qualities have to merge in the Atman. If the Atman is Sattva, whenever you become Sattvic, you merge in God. So good, how bad qualities can merge and become one, the bad also should become, transmute or transform itself into good. It's the same thing. If there's a crowd of people with whom you want to go and get in and become one with it, you should become like that. As Swami says, if water is there and if it has to merge with fire, it has to lose its form. So that ultimately the becoming one is to become one with that qualityless God. When sattvic qualities, good qualities, have easier chance of merging with God because they embody the divine qualities. The bad also will merge. So the thing is, we should think, we cannot think God is somewhere else, a good quality suddenly will come with the bad qualities and they will become merged with one. No. They all can only merge with God. And to become that one, we have to become good initially, and then we lose that also by merging with God. Is my understanding. So people should not think we should be, qualityless, I think it is incorrect expectation. To become a good person, suddenly will lose all his goodness and suddenly will merge with the bad. Because that is that's my understanding. I may be wrong, but I thought I will just share what I understood from inside.
So, brother, so that what you have meant to say here is the bad quality has to be transformed into good and become as one. Okay. But the good quality to fade out, that's something that not fade out. That after that, what's happening then? United now. Okay. Now you have to come qualityless. There's no good also. Am I right?
Yeah, the thing is, when everyone is good, you don't have to be extra good. Okay. If everyone is doing their share, you don't have to do anything more. For example, if you say, if there's disease, then you have to make it healthy. Then your body is functioning. Then you don't say, I'm a healthy person, I'm a healthy person. Only if there's a disease, then you would say you're healthy.
Oh.
In the society, if somebody is doing a crime, you do whatever you can so they become good citizens. Once they become good citizens, they are citizens.
Yes. So
You
when
everyone is good, you don't have to say good citizens. Everyone is citizen. then there is peace. There is no fight, no one is stealing, no one is harming, no one is hating. So the thing is, the bad person, how can he become one with the society? Should I also start stealing and then we become one community? No, it cannot be. So good qualities allow for uniting. Bad qualities do not allow for uniting. So the bad qualities also transform into good qualities. There's nothing more to be done. Is my understanding. I'm sorry. I hope.
Thank you, because there's no duality thereafter.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No duality. That's it. Okay. When there's duality, there's fight. That's Advaitam. There is all this. That's also called Advaita. Okay. The qualities don't exist outside of God. The qualities don't reside outside of Atman. So the merger can only take place in the Atman. Yes, I know. Maybe it's my understanding I'm sharing, but each of you could take it. I will open it up for other comments.
Sairam, I just want to, it's nice, nicely you have explained. I just want to point out this only. Whether it's bad or good, as long as even a slight idea that we are good or we have good qualities, then there is ego. If there is no ego, as long as ego is there, then that is the barrier for merger with the divine. So if there is no ego, then there's no question even of whether we are good or bad, or at least individually we have to come to that stage. Then all these thoughts even won't be there. I think that's it's a very very highest stage, but I think that's the idea. I think, Saira.
Brother, if you have ego, that's a bad quality, right? So good quality will not carry that with you. Thank you.
No, that's not the thing. Ego means not that you are consciously thinking, I have ego or whatever. So, as Brother Sivadas explained earlier, if you look at the jnanis, or he talked about Jana Maharaja or Dharmaraja at the tail end of the Mahabharata story, or jnanis like Ramana Maharshi. So, if there's no ego, then there's this thought won't even come whether I'm good or good quality. But I think we have to come to that stage. So that's a very we have to work out to that level. I think from look at when we look at the jnanis, that's what they were. I think that's the idea. So. Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam. So to become egoless, we have to practice Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema. So the keeping the plighted word. Okay, if you say, "Oh, you do, I will do this one," you keep it up. And if you say, if your thought, word, and deed coincide, unite, then you are Satya. You are following Satya. So those qualities must be developed in order to kill the bad qualities. So when as Brother Vimalasan said, the last item is the ego. So when the ego also got annihilated, then after that, Brother Vimalasan correctly said, after that there is no good and bad, and we don't see that one because we are egoless, and there's nothing to compare after that because we are above. So until such time that good qualities has to be practiced very minutely as prescribed in the Shastras. What is Dharma, what is Satya, what is Prema, what is non-violence. See, non-violence is a very important quality that we have to develop. So once we developed, and the last aspect is actually the ego. When the ego also left, then we are qualityless. But brother Aruna was explained earlier, the merging with the Ishvara state. So from Ishvara had Sattva Guna, there is one step down from the Brahman level. So Ishvara, the Savana Brahman, Sahara Savana Brahman, the first appearance. So that is Sattva Guna. Then Sattva Guna, from Sattva Guna descended this Raju and Tamas, and these all merge in the Sattva Guna, in the Ishvara. Then finally, then when we go to the Brahman level, then nothing is there. No, there's no quality there. Thank you, Sairam. This is what I could say. Thanks, Sairam.
Sairam, brother. So I like to add one point. We all born with three qualities. So tamas, rajas, and sattvic. So tamas you can remove from rajasic. Rajasic can be removed from sattvic. When we come to the sattvic, all words, thoughts, deeds going to be aligned. So eventually the sattvic gunas also will be vanished. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much.
Sairam, can I just ask two clarification questions? One is that on a practical level, like, should we even aim to be qualityless, or should our goal just be to develop more and more good qualities, and eventually the qualityless state will come? So that's the first question. And the second question is, we were talking about how King Janaka, for example, is a Jivan Mukta, he's qualityless. But here it seems that Swami is saying you cannot live in the body once you're qualityless. Is that not what he's saying in this? Because he's saying, if there's no battle, there's no battlefield. And that kind of matches up with, I think a few sessions ago, we talked about how if you have the body, you still have aham, but the aham identifies with the atma. And then if you don't have aham, you don't have the body.
I don't know whether anyone would like to add answers.
I just wanted to, I noticed that too. Swami saying there's no battle, you don't want to bother about the body. That he didn't say that you don't need a body. You don't need to bother about the body. And when you increase the quality, good qualities, obviously the bad qualities going down. This is the way I'm thinking. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Sairam, in this, brother, in this Sandeha Nivarini, I think, either Dhyanavani or Sandeha Nivarini, I'm not sure. Baba is saying, but we covered already. Baba is saying, don't try to become quality less. The exact word is there. Baba said, already said.
Yes,
Don't try.
In Sandeha Nivarini, he says.
Sandeha Nivarini. Do not try to become quality less. Because that's what everybody question now. Now, Kalyani's first question, we cannot try to become quality less now. We have to be pure. We have to come completely pure. Then if we could be like a Yanama Raja, then you can have the good qualities. You can become qualityless and work in the society. And it depends on the person's samskaras. So the first question is, we cannot think of become qualityless now, the one question. The second part she's asking is, as Sister Aruna has answered it. But here Bhavan is saying, when you become qualityless, whether you have body or not is not a question for you. It can have a body. There could be a body or nobody. So it doesn't matter whether you live like a more Yuvan Mukta for some time, or you just remove the body and merge with God. That is a small part matter of decision taking according to own prarabdha, samskara prarabdha. So this is what I would like to say. And brother, you please explain it.
Okay, very nice, brother, very nice. So I will just.
I think that's very nicely answered. Yeah.
So in the Bhagavad Gita, the first verse says Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. Dharma, the field of dharma, and the field of Kuru, karma. So Swami says this body can be two types of body. One is it can be a dharma kshetra. It can be a field where there's no battle. Only dharma is practiced. On the other, which is dharma is Swami, then that itself is an Atma Dharma discussion. Or it can be Kurukshetra, it can be a battlefield where we engage in actions and reap the results there. So, but as Swami said, don't bother about the field because the border, it's not a battlefield. There's no battle, there's no battlefield. So don't worry about a battlefield. So that's why Jnanis, brothers have already said, the Jnanis live not as in a battlefield, they live in the field of Dharma. Field of Atma Dharma, because they completely identify with Atma. So that's my answer to that question. Then the question you asked about how do we increase good qualities and we become one or whatever. We should understand, if you look at the Mahabharata war, the Pandavas were very good. Kauravas are considered to be bad. But the Pandavas could not win over the Kauravas by themselves. The only way they could win was by taking the help of Krishna. So the thing is, even for the good in us to become stronger and overpower the bad and make the bad turn into good, there's only one solution, which is God. That's why I said, let's not discuss good and bad, leaving God out. Because that's why Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Sarva Dharman Pratyajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. He says, give up all dharma and take shelter in me, I will solve the problem. The Pandava battle ended only because of Krishna. Why? Because the Pandavas took total refuge in Krishna. And Krishna dealt with it. So sometimes when we encounter bad, if we think we can do it by ourselves, by growing our good qualities, we cannot even grow it. And all of us struggle. We want to be good, but we are unable to. So Krishna is saying, don't worry about that. You just take refuge in me. You just surrender to me. Then everything will be fine. Okay, so that's why I said the merger can only take place in the Lord. Only then we become qualityless. It's the same thing, if we think we are dealing with the bad on our own, we will always face frustration. Okay, because the source of good is divinity. So without connecting to that divinity, you cannot be even good. So once you connect to the Lord and you think all goodness is flowing from Him, then we won't even think I am good. All that everything will vanish. So surrender and becoming one with God is the only solution to become that one. We become qualityless only when we merge in the Lord. Outside of that, you cannot become qualityless. When there is separation, duality, there is never a situation of qualitylessness. So merging is the only solution. Even our own bad qualities will become good once we merge with the Lord, once we just dedicate our life to the Lord. So devotion, or what Swami calls it, love, divine love, is the only source for all good qualities like Satya, Dharma, Shanti, everything. Because it is not, that's why Brother Sveda said, Swami has already discussed this, don't try to become qualityless, which is a very cerebral, you think I am qualityless. No, that will not happen. You become qualityless by merging in the qualityless God. Okay, so the only way the war will end is by merging with the Lord. Only way, so for everything, that is the only solution. So even though all this is said, we should not forget Krishna. The Pandavas are good, the Kauravas are bad, but don't forget Krishna. It's the Krishna who was the master who made the war end. The good to be vanquished, bad to be vanquished, and the good became. And when the Krishna left, Pandavas couldn't do whatever they could. You know the story of Arjuna. When Krishna was not there, he could not even lift his bow and arrow. He could not do his job. That means without God, even the good is powerless. even what we think is good is powerless. I hope, that is my understanding. Don't think that is the right understanding.
That's the most important point you have very nicely said. Yeah, that's the most important thing. So.
Brothers, lest we forget the one thing, because I might forget next time. So that Sarvadharman Pratyaksha Mame Ekam Saranam Vraja, Baba explained in chapter 9 of Sathya Sai speak. Sathya speaks, he's saying that the meaning of that is don't think your doership, give up your doership. Don't give up your dharma. Give up the doership and surrender. Give up the doership. That is the only meaning I was saying. And so, in order, because others also have I have a conversation with the other people or something back, and they are quoting the Sarvadharma Pratyaksha. So give up all the dharmas means, but Bhagavan is saying that give up the doership, but continue working, he is saying. Thanks, Ramada.
Thank you, brother.
Sai Ram, this is Aku Auntie.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know, Sivadas, for giving us a very good explanation. As long as we follow Swami's teaching and with devotion, we have to surrender everything. He brought us to this level. He will continue to do so. So we have to have that trust and faith and patience. Everything will go well. Do not get disturbed. Do not think too seriously. Leave it to him. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, same way, because Sagwanti, the way she told, that's the way I think too. Whenever we come to study circle, we always talk. Swami says, then everyone discuss, okay, Brother Arano says, Sivadas says. After the study circle, we go with the 1 point each day and practice whatever Swami is teaching. Very simple thing. Namasparana, 9 point of code of conduct, Sealingon, Visayas. Everything is very simple way Swami teaches. Then we practice that and surrender to God. Then we don't have to seriously think about it. It's automatically come with us, with the children and parents, and we don't think too much about serious because we are doing already. The same way we practice, we will merge with God with quality less, I think, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you.
This reminds me of my dream. I don't know if I've shared with this group or the other group. I'm still analytical. I'm very analytical, even in my spirituality. This is right, this is wrong. We use a lot of my, I use a lot of my mind. And I was tired. I was really exhausted. I said, Bhagawan, I don't know. I mean, I know what is right, what is wrong, but continuously, this mind is just working. And in my dream, I saw myself, I'm on the floor, and there is one person who's killing me. He's literally killing me. I'm lying on the floor and he's killing me. And I'm so scared. I'm so scared, like very scared. I could see myself, I'm very scared. And right away I saw my body turn into Swami's body, and that person vanished. And I couldn't interpret what does it mean. And when I usually write what experience or learning or anything on a diary, and you won't believe the way I wrote, because I know it's not my thought, that when you have body consciousness, your mind will kill you. So that person was representing, that's what my interpretation is when I was writing. When you have a body consciousness, your mind will kill you. When you create God, my conscious and godly consciousness, there is no room for mind. So that was my interpretation, and exactly what Brother Aruna is saying, that, just surrender to Bhagawan, that develop that divine consciousness. On all by itself, we will know what is right, what is wrong. We don't really have to think. So that is my interpretation. And I remind myself of that dream over and over. It was like 7-8 years ago, that develop God consciousness rather than body consciousness. Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Thank you.
If I repeated this, my apologies, because I'm getting old. I don't remember where did I share.
It's worth repeating a number of times.
And I don't remember this dream actually. So it's a fresh one. Yeah.
I think sister shared it with me, so I'm familiar with it, but I don't think she shared it here. So. So it's
Time
about
up, brother, I think.
10:20.
Yeah.
I think it was a very wonderful discussion. We didn't read much, but I think it's always good to understand, and so that we can take it away and put it in our life. Practice it to the best of our ability with Swami's grace. So I think it was a worthwhile discussion because Swami is saying the same thing again and again in very different words. Every opportunity for us to discuss and share and learn from each other is wonderful. Thanks, Swami, for the wonderful opportunity. And I think we can close with Samastaloka and Shanti and convene next week again. Sai. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.
Sai Ram, and thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank
Sai
you,
Ram.
Sai Ram.